Welcome back to the Dragon Tactical Industries podcast, your go-to resource for mastering tactical skills. Today, we delve into a realm of combat that is as intense as it is intricate, close quarters combat. In a world where every move has the potential to be a game changer, confined spaces can escalate the stakes exponentially. Imagine a situation where you're in a narrow alleyway or a cramped building. Your usual combat techniques may not be as effective as they are in open spaces. This is where the art of close quarters combat comes into play. It's a skill that could be a lifesaver in urban environments or any confined space, demanding a unique blend of tactical awareness, precision, and adaptability. So, whether you're navigating through tight corridors or engaging in room-to-room combat, mastering close quarters combat techniques is not just an option, it's an essential survival skill. Whether you're navigating tight corridors or engaging in room-to-room combat, mastering close quarters combat techniques is essential for survival in urban environments, buildings, or any confined space. Close quarters combat presents unique challenges that require specialized training and tactics. Unlike open field battles, where you have the luxury of space and time, confined spaces like buildings, narrow corridors, and tight rooms pose a whole new set of hurdles. Firstly, there's the issue of limited maneuverability. The restricted space means you can't move freely, making it challenging to use traditional combat techniques effectively. You can't run, you can't hide, and you have to be ready to engage your opponent from any angle. This calls for a unique skill set, focused on quick, decisive actions rather than elaborate strategies. Next, there's the heightened risk of ambush. With so many blind spots and corners, confined spaces provide ample opportunities for adversaries to lie in wait. This requires you to be constantly vigilant and aware, ready to react to threats that could appear from anywhere, at any time. To illustrate these challenges, let's consider the case of Sergeant Williams. He was tasked with leading a SWAT team into a narrow hallway during a hostage rescue operation. Traditional combat tactics were of little use in this situation. With limited visibility, multiple blind spots, and a high risk of ambush, every step they took was fraught with danger. Despite these challenges, Sergeant Williams and his team managed to successfully navigate the tight space. They did this through precise coordination and communication, relying on their specialized training in close quarters combat. Every team member knew their role and executed it flawlessly, maintaining constant awareness of their surroundings and reacting quickly to any threats. This case highlights the importance of specialized training and tactics in close quarters combat. It's not about who has the biggest gun or the most troops. It's about who can think quickly, react decisively, and work effectively as a team in a high-pressure situation. With limited visibility and multiple blind spots, Sergeant Williams and his team had to rely on precise coordination and communication to navigate the tight space and neutralize threats. This is the reality of close quarters combat. It's intense, it's dangerous, and it's a world where every move counts. So what are some essential techniques for mastering close quarters combat, you may ask? Well, let's delve into a couple of key strategies that may prove invaluable in a tight spot. First off, we have room clearing. This is the art of systematically clearing rooms and enclosed spaces. It's not just about barging into a room guns blazing. That's a surefire way to get yourself hurt. No, room clearing is about prioritizing speed, surprise, and violence of action. You need to rapidly assess the situation, catch the enemy off guard, and neutralize them before they can react. Then we have the pie corners technique. Picture a pie. Now imagine slicing it into pieces. That's essentially what you're doing with your field of view when clearing corners. Rather than rushing around a corner and exposing yourself to potential threats, you methodically slice the corner with your vision, revealing small portions of the room at a time. This minimizes your exposure while maintaining situational awareness. These techniques may seem simple on paper, but they require practice and precision to execute effectively. To illustrate, let's consider the case of Officer Johnson. Responding to an active shooter situation in a crowded office building, Officer Johnson found himself in the heart of a close quarters combat scenario. But he didn't panic. Instead, he relied on his training. Using the pie corners technique, Officer Johnson was able to clear corners and angles, minimizing his exposure to the gunman. He maintained constant communication with his team, coordinating their movements and sharing vital information. Room by room, they cleared the building, maintaining speed, surprise, and decisive action. The result? Officer Johnson and his team were able to neutralize the threat swiftly, saving countless lives in the process. His story is a testament to the power of mastering close-quarters combat techniques. It's not about being a hero, it's about being prepared, being disciplined, and making every move count. By pieing corners and maintaining constant communication with his team, Officer Johnson was able to swiftly clear multiple rooms and neutralize the threat, saving countless lives in the process. Beyond specific techniques, developing the right mindset and undergoing specialized training are essential for mastering close-quarters combat. When it comes to close-quarters combat, it's not just about knowing the right moves. It's about cultivating a certain way of thinking, a specific mindset that can mean the difference between success and failure in these high-stakes situations. First and foremost is the concept of situational awareness. This involves continually scanning your environment, identifying potential threats, and understanding your position relative to these threats. In confined spaces, things can change rapidly and unpredictably. Maintaining a high level of situational awareness allows you to adapt and respond effectively to these changes, but being aware isn't enough. You also need to be ready to act, and that's where muscle memory comes into play. Muscle memory is essentially your body's ability to remember how to perform specific tasks without conscious thought. It's what allows you to react quickly and accurately in high-pressure situations. Developing muscle memory for close-quarters combat techniques involves consistent, intensive training. It's about not just learning the moves, but practicing them over and over until they become second nature. This way, when you find yourself in a real-life situation, your body knows exactly what to do. Let's consider the case of Emily, a civilian who decided to take a close-quarters combat course. Emily understood that the key to mastering these techniques was not just understanding them intellectually, but ingraining them into her muscle memory. She dedicated herself to rigorous training, repeating the same moves thousands of times. She participated in scenario-based exercises that simulated real-world situations, allowing her to apply what she'd learned in a controlled environment. Through this intensive training, Emily developed the muscle memory necessary to execute close-quarters combat techniques effectively. But she gained something else too: confidence. Confidence in her ability to respond decisively to threats, even in the most confined spaces. Through intensive training and scenario-based exercises, Emily developed the muscle memory and confidence to respond decisively to threats in confined spaces, empowering her to protect herself and others in dangerous situations. As we wrap up today's episode, remember that mastering close-quarters combat requires a combination of training, technique, and mindset. We've delved into the unique challenges of confined spaces combat, from the limited maneuverability to the heightened risk of ambush. We've explored essential techniques such as room clearing and pieing corners, and we've underscored the importance of situational awareness and rigorous training to develop muscle memory. Every scenario we examined, from Sergeant Williams' SWAT operation to Officer Johnson's response to an active shooter situation, and even Emily's civilian training, underscores the same principle. The mastery of close-quarters combat is not about brute force. It's about precision, strategy, and the will to adapt. So keep honing your skills, stay vigilant, and maintain your situational awareness. By doing so, you can navigate confined spaces with confidence and efficiency. Thanks for tuning in to the Dragon Tactical Industries podcast.